I've covered for you long enough. I might sound a little rough. I'm wearing orange now and so you've got you did this and now Scott. Now I know why. Now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. I asked you where your dad was. Where was Big Daddy? You got so angry when I went to feed the baby goat. Now Scott, now I know why. Now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why.
Get up.
Where your dad was. Where was Big Daddy? You got so angry when I went to feed the baby goat. Now Scott, now I know why. Now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. I am hella mad and burning with rage, Scott, and now I know why.
When she was up there carefully, she talked about, she said, my response to
I am hella mad and burning with rage, Scott, and now I know why. Now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. Now I know why. It was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. I am hella mad and
know Scott,
burning with
fully
rage,
Scott.
Scott, and now I know why.
Hello everybody, excited utterance here. My name's Hella and it was you, Scott, you, and now I know why. Yes, we are finding out why today because Scott is on cross and I am gonna get cross. Cross. Indeed, because I'm having my cross challenge. Yes, you will see in chat. At the top of chat, it says that, let's go chat, we are having a challenge. Let me see what it says. Let's go. Super chats to make Hella mad. I want to see me lose my shiz. So, super chats and gifted memberships are going to make me mad instead of happy. And guess what, right? So we have one of those goals set. So if we get 10 super chats in an hour, I'm going to change my screen name to Hella Mad. I'm serious. I'm going to change it. It's going to say Hella Mad. I'm going to be Hella Mad. Right? I am hella mad and burning with rage, Scott. And now I know why. It says 3 minutes left for the goal. I'll fix it. I started it. Remove goal. Remove. I'll start a new one. Okay. So start another goal. 10 super chats in an hour. And how I'll celebrate. I will change my screen name to Hella Mad. Start goal. There. I'm not changing it to Hella Talk. No way. Alright, there we go. I think, did I set it to teal or higher? I think it's teal or higher screen, or everything, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, they're teal or higher, so they're $5 or higher. Sorry, guys. Hey, sweet, started a goal. You'd like that one? You'd like that username? I mean it, guys. I mean it. I mean it. So, but if you buy me a coffee, if you do gifted memberships, that all counts too. I don't care. I don't care. I'll add it to the 10 goal. I'll add it to the 10 goal. Right? So, every time it happens, I'll get a bit madder. Like a narcissist. But if we get up to 10, I will change my name to Helen Matt. Oh, also, Happy Australia Day. Happy Australia Day. It is Australia Day, guys. It is actually Australia Day here. And the 26th of January is tomorrow for you guys. I have some fun Australia Day facts for you. I'll be dropping them probably tomorrow because today is Melody Day. But Australia Day, you will not believe some of the questions you get asked on the citizenship test. I couldn't believe it. I thought they were trolling, but I read them and I was like, are you actually serious? They're hilarious. I will do either a short video or a stream about it within the next day. It's too funny. Happy Australia Day, I'm bronzed. Yes. Hella mad. All my username ideas are vulgar or sexual in nature. Yeah, I'm not asking for more username ideas. It's hella mad. It will be hella mad. Okay, hello Christine, how are you? Shammy is here. Hey Shammy, welcome to chat, Shammy. You were here the other day, weren't you? But you're usually on replay. So welcome to the live chat. Great to have you here. Hey, Factual Lie, Ange. Yeah, you'll be right there. Cool. Helen Mad, Evie, Tractors. KLF is here with the sax. I'm glad you all love this song. Baby goats. And Marjorie's here too. Marjorie knows a lot about this track. Sweet, let's get into it. We are doing Cross. And P.S., we are not going to get through Cross today. He was on the stand at least, from what I can tell, for the whole day and maybe a bit into the next day. I'm not quite sure exactly how long he was on the stand for on Cross. A while. Yeah. Hella mad. All right, let's get into it. Hang on, let me see. Playback speed. These people talk slowly, so I put them on fairly quickly. And let's chuck it on, guys.
Chick-fil-A sandwich to sit on that pickle for too long. All right, go ahead.
Wrong layout.
Good morning, Scott. My name is John Luke Weaver, and I, along with Michael Ray, represent your mother. I want to start
Your
and
mother.
A lot of the stuff you talked about
Who
yesterday.
birthed you?
But I do want to talk. I want to go back in time a long way to your childhood, and I want to kind of go through that and work our way up in time from there. So you were raised where?
My mic has a little hum to it.
From
Yeah.
the time I lived in Birmingham or Alabama
Your
to
first memory. Where did you live?
my very first memory, I vaguely remember living in Tuscaloosa, but majority of my childhood memory is living in Birmingham, over in Hoover.
That's where you, in your mind, that's where you really grew up. Was it?
Yeah, I mean, I was there all through elementary school.
All right. And so I kind of want to talk about how everybody was in the family. I mean, the family has kind of become a critical part of this case, as you know. So I want you to tell the judge, or the jury, kind of your perspective on everybody. So tell me about your older brother, Chris. Growing up, what was he like?
Growing up, him and I were very much involved in baseball, and we played a lot of spring ball, summer ball, fall ball. I mean, baseball we were consumed with. And you know, my brother and I will always help my dad do projects around at that house there. I remember helping him build the back deck. And,
Y'all played baseball, so you
get used to it,
What
Shammy.
position did y'all play?
we played a variety of different positions.
Pitcher?
At one point, I was a pitcher. Played a lot of outfield. I don't really remember what all my brother played because we were never on the same team because he was older than me. But you know, I've been shortstop, first base, pitcher, outfield.
You played school for the high school team?
No, I did not play baseball in high school. Once we moved to Georgia, I really didn't want to play anymore because I didn't have my friends anymore that I used to play with.
Lost those connections.
Yeah, anyway.
Also, too, the coaches didn't know you, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
Oops, sorry. I fixed it.
you know, we moved to a new town, new neighborhood, didn't know anybody.
Who was better at baseball, you or Chris?
I mean, Chris, maybe. I don't know. I mean, him and I used to be in our backyard and practice pitching and throwing, and we would do the same with my dad. So I really don't remember, watching him play.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I would have to say, we're probably equal.
And in Birmingham, that was when you guys, basically through all of your growing up, you guys shared a bedroom, right?
Yes.
Bunk beds, how'd that work?
We had 2 twin beds in the room.
Just side by side.
Yeah, one on one side of the room, one on the other.
All right.
He
And that
had
was
a
from
better
your
one.
earliest memory to moving to, I believe, the Hampton Hall neighborhood?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so tell me about that. Did Chris ever get in trouble? Which one of you two was the mischievous one? Somebody had to be. 2 brothers.
I mean, yeah, we always got in trouble for something. I mean, nothing really stood out to, that will stick in my memory, for sure. But I mean, yeah, we got in trouble like any, boys would that were,
Okay.
This is before cell phones and internet and all that. So, we were out, actually playing like, kids did back then.
Old school.
Old
I think that's
school.
the word you use. You're old school.
Yeah.
We like to set
Like that,
small animals
right?
on
Yes.
fire.
So, but of the two of you, I've got 2 sons, and I got a mischievous son, and then I've got one who's basically always pointing the finger at the other son. But can you say of the 2 of you, which would be the more mischievous of the brothers? Just pick one. How about who was getting in trouble more growing up with your dad?
Well, that would probably be Chris because he was, older than me. Once I got into middle school and he was in high school, we didn't really do things together. He had his own friends and stuff. So him and I weren't
It was
hanging
him.
out all the time like we would when we were younger in Birmingham. We just, we got older. Take for instance, like right now, my fiance, she has an identical twin sister, and they talk every single day. My brother and I don't do that.
But back then, and so your answer would have been Chris got in more trouble than you.
I mean, yeah, I would have to say that. It's
You are such an ass.
I would get in trouble for one thing, and he would get in trouble for something completely different.
So would
we
you say-
just had a lot. We had, kind of strict rules, and
But what do you mean by that? Strict rules?
Our parents weren't soft on us. So if we did something wrong, they let us know.
My
That was
my
both of
mom
you.
kept
Yes.
threatening
And
to
girls
throw
too?
us on the fire.
Yeah, the girls younger, but they weren't as hard on Emily and Amanda as they were Chris and I.
Right.
Yeah.
So of the 2 parents, you got to give me some examples. How would they discipline you?
Oh, my
Wow.
dad, he would, fuss at us and, explain what we did wrong and everything like that.
Wife.
I have more memories of Melody hitting me.
Spanking you?
Spanking me, and eventually upgraded to. I've been hit by spatulas, and I've had things thrown at me. I do remember we were living in Birmingham, in the girls' room.
No. Went into something that happened wherever, whenever, forever ago.
Right. So the girls, growing up, they were raised a little differently than you and Chris?
Yeah, they weren't treated like how Chris and I would. They're girls. There's a difference between girls and
Oh,
boys,
he's
and boys
making
do
me cry by Franz.
get into more mischief than what girls would.
All right. So we're kind of, not to say that this is the case, but if you could rank for each parent growing up, who do you think was the favorite and who do you think was maybe the least favorite of the children? So for your mom, we'll start there.
So my mom's point of view, who was the most
Who was
favorite?
the favorite? Who was the least favorite?
She definitely favored Amanda more. And then Chris, she favored more. I was a middle child, so Chris was her first baby, and then Amanda was
Middle
the
child
baby.
syndrome.
So
That was her top 2.
Yes, from my perspective, yes, those were her top 2.
So who would have been the least favorite?
They never treated us like any of us were like the outcasts or and all, but
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just from your
Yeah.
perspective as a child.
I just remember Amanda and Chris kind of got treated a little bit better than they got better birthday presents and got more attention in a way.
Melody's just like, are you
And I'm not saying Emily,
serious?
didn't get that and all, and I didn't get it because, my dad always made sure that, all of us were treated, kind of equally.
Really?
Okay, so on your dad's side of things, who would you say his favorites were?
Both the girls.
A little bit harder on you and Chris?
He was just,
Wow.
he
When you say
put more discipline on us.
Right. Well, you use the word old school multiple times. You've been interviewed for this case about 6 times, and you've been testifying now for about 6 hours. And you use the word old school a lot. What did that mean?
Old school is, he never
This guy is a
coddled us.
pussy.
He made sure we
Sorry.
got out and did yard work and we got our stuff done. I remember growing up, we couldn't go play with our friends until we got our chores done.
He held you accountable.
That would have been Melody more.
Okay, well, I was saying he held you accountable.
He just, he definitely got us involved on, doing stuff like that. So it wasn't, get work done first before play.
And you mentioned that growing up too. I mean, there kind of was a little different standard with the girls. Amanda got a brand new car, and I believe you got a 1991 Silverado.
Yes.
What color was it?
Black.
Okay. So you moved to Atlanta in '95.
Yes, sir.
Right. What do you remember about that move?
I remember coming over. We stayed a lot at the Renaissance Hotel down in Atlanta, which was right next to my dad's, law firm. That's where they.
Where was the firm back then?
It was like
that was before Atlantic Station was built.
Yes, it was catty corner to the Varsity.
Okay.
So it was right there. So you had at the time I think it was South Trust building, and you had the Renaissance Hotel connected to it. So that's where we stayed at while they were looking for a house.
At the hotel.
Yes, we would stay there.
And were you happy about the move?
I wasn't crazy about it because, like I said, I had all my friends in Birmingham. I had my best friend Kyle that we went fishing every single day in the lake that we had in the neighborhood, and I used to go to hunting camp with him and his dad. So I had all my my friends there, my best friends, and I was moving to an area that I didn't have any friends, didn't know anybody.
So, Emily has been kind of noted as the brain of the family, like of the four, right? The smart one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how were your grades growing up?
Oh, I was not the best student. Wish I got my dad's brains on book smart and all, but I always struggled in school just because I would get very, I lose attention. I would get bored or something and wander off in my mind. And I graduated, but I was nowhere near the top of my class. So, I mean, school.
Wait a minute, I'm supposed to be mad. How dare you! Oh. I know that's a really big deal for you, though.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God. You're narcissist! Thank you so much, Half Irish. I really appreciate it. Now we are 9 away from me changing my screen name to Hella Mad. Everyone who is getting new memberships, you need to go to the link under the membership tab. There, under membership tab, under membership perks, there is a link to our Discord. Make sure you join it. And Half Irish, I just need to give you props because you are just like super mod. You really are. You just every single day you turn up and you drop all the links everywhere and you do it all and you never ask for anything in return, and you've been in chat since way before we were monetized, both of us, like right from the beginning. And I'm so mad at you. But it's kind of hard to be mad at you. Thank you. So 9 away, guys. Now we're 9 away from me becoming Hella Mad officially. That's my new name. Yeah, that's the challenge, Ilya.
Gotcha.
You missed it. Yeah.
Oh, I heard.
School wasn't my strong suit. I'm more of a hands-on person.
How did that go with your dad? Was he kind of upset with you about your grades and how that went growing up?
No, he always helped me. He tried to help me, with homework and, try to improve my school. He was always going over homework with me and, grabbing my textbooks and, helping me out, basically kind of tutoring me.
When you moved to Atlanta, did you have any opportunity to ever meet Angela Phillips?
I've pretty much known Angela my entire life. That was my dad's legal assistant. So as far as I can remember, my dad worked for the law firm. She was the legal assistant.
Okay. And when did you find out about the relationship that your dad had with Angela?
I never knew about a relationship with her.
Have you ever heard about it before?
Nope. This is the first time I'm ever hearing this.
So you graduated high school, what, about 2000, 2001, somewhere in there?
Yes, sir.
Which one?
2000, it was after 9/11 I graduated, so it was my senior year 9/11 happened.
So that would be like 2002?
Yes.
Okay. So, and you joined the
It's a weird
infantry
benchmark.
in, what, 2008, 2009?
Yes, sir. It was, I started out, I went to the recruiting office in the early 2008, I think it was.
Well, let's back up. What did you do between 02 and about 08?
So when I was in high school, like I said yesterday, I was on the work program. I worked at Jiffy Lube, so I did oil changes and stuff like that. Once I graduated from high school, then I went and worked for Tires Plus, and then several other mechanic shops.
Didn't we already talk about this, but he's just going over it to make him look like a loser?
Why were you changing jobs so much?
trying to make more money and all. I mean, mechanic shops is kind of like, barbers and stuff like that. They don't. It's rare if one stays at one location for a long period of time. Also, a lot of mechanic shops, they got their master technicians, and you can't really go anywhere. So you go in as like a lube tech, which just does oil changes and brake pads and stuff like that. So whenever I found an opportunity to gain, a higher job experience, I would try to take advantage of it and make more money.
Did you ever attempt to go to a trade school or anything like that, get an extra education?
I thought about possibly going to linear tech and going into the automotive, but once I got into working on cars and all, I realized you really didn't need it. It's better just hands-on training. You learn more that way. There's a lot of people who work in that industry that didn't have a degree hanging on the wall that was making decent money.
So it'd be fair to say during those years, and I think I'm taking your words from one of your interviews, that prior to your military service, you didn't have purpose at that point in your life.
I didn't really have a career job.
Right.
At that point, no, I didn't have a job that I knew, this is what I'm going to stay at this company for the rest of my life and retire from here. No, I was still young, really didn't know where I wanted to, which direction I wanted to lean into. So, and at one point, I decided I just, instead of working on cars, I went towards selling cars to see how that would be. And so I started selling cars.
Okay. Where were you selling cars?
My first job was at Gossett Volkswagen, right there, kind of Roswell, Alpharetta, off of Mansell Road. We sold Volkswagens and Bentleys. I then left from there and went to Regal Nissan, which is the next exit down Holcomb Bridge. That was more family owned. Loved working there. Did great there, sold a lot of cars, made a lot of money.
About what year was that?
This was around 2005, I want to say, that I was working there. Because when my grandmother had her heart attack and had to have open heart surgery, I was working there.
And that would have been before you went into the military?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what, about 07, 06, somewhere in there?
Yeah, about in that time frame.
So you were living at home with your parents still, correct?
At that time, yes.
At that time, so from 02 to 08, you lived with your parents, from graduating high school to 08?
No, I did move out for a little while. I lived with some friends, and...
Like how long would you say is a little while?
Not even a full year.
Okay. Were you the only one of the 4 siblings that stayed at home after high school?
We're getting there, Caleb.
Chris, that's why you moved to Maine.
We all kind of stayed home, came back home a little bit. I think Emily was the only one who really, stayed as long under our parents' roof as, the rest of us. But we all kind of, once we graduated high school, and we were in and out of the house. But
of those 6 years, you spent 5 of them at home, between going to the military and graduating high school?
Yeah, majority of it, yes. I was living under the roof.
So tell me about, what was the status of your parents' marriage back then? Actually, what was it like when you were growing up? Were they loving?
To me, it seemed like a very happy, normal family. I don't have any, especially don't have any memories of us living in Birmingham of any conflict whatsoever.
No polycule.
And even after we moved to
No
Atlanta,
Baldos.
No Baldos,
it was
no.
several years and didn't notice anything until I started hearing rumors from kids in the neighborhoods about my parents.
But prior to that, no issues?
No, not that I remember.
So after high school, you're living at home. Were you noticing any issues, or was it still just normal?
It still kind of seemed normal. There was nothing that stood out to me.
All right. Did you ever, how about during those years, which one of the parents did you spend the most time with, your mom or your dad?
Obviously it would be my mother because she was a stay-at-home mother, so she was there. My dad was always at the office Monday through Friday. So
My mother.
Is that when y'all started kind of?
You wouldn't
it
say
seems
mom.
like you guys both had an affinity and affection for yard work and working with your hands.
Yeah, that's always been. It seemed like my entire life.
So back then, even would you and your mom do stuff like that?
Oh yeah, we all got out and worked in the yard.
All right. And it sounded like when your grandmother, Miss Walker, had her heart surgery, that you went over there with your mom.
Yes.
And stayed for a long time.
Yes, there was quite a period of time that we were up there.
So of the 2 parents, and I know everybody always gets on asking a lot of questions. This is a serious case, so I have to ask a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. But back then, and even through, I would say, 2018, I'm just asking, which one of the 2 parents did you spend the most time with?
Well, it still would have been her because my dad was working. So I helped her with the situation with my grandmother. So I believe, Emily was in college. Amanda, at the time, I think she was in college too. Chris was doing his thing. So, I was the one that, was really able to help her, with the whole ordeal with my grandmother. So, I was around her the most out of the 2.
Y'all close?
We weren't best buddies, but she was my mother and I was there to, help her out. with everything that was going on.
Right. I mean, you now refer to her exclusively as Melody.
Yes.
And you started doing that in 2019, and you've been doing it ever since 2019 into 2020. But even when you talk about her past tense, you use the word "my mother," talking about her back then.
Oh, called out.
Acted like a mother. She was my mother. And the reason why I don't like calling her my mother now is because the way she treated me after all this started, and then once it came out that my father was murdered and her actions prior to him being murdered, and she tore our family apart.
So why did you decide to go into the Army?
So
Okay, wait. Notice how he didn't refer to her killing the dad. It was what she did to me. That's why I refer to her as my mother or Melody, because what she did to me. Right? So it was all about him. Even though, remember, he started referring to her as mother or Melody in 2019.
Yeah.
But the murder wasn't in 2019. It was way back in 2018, 2017. Right? Yes? So, caught out, Scott. Caught out. Because this all happened prior to when he started calling her Melody or mother.
Yeah.
Yeah? So, were you not that pissed off with her about potentially killing the dad? Daddy dearest? Yeah? What's going on with that? Or maybe she wasn't the one who did it. Scott, and you know that. It was you, Scott, you. Narcissist, Shammy. We have a narcissist.
once I noticed things were happening between her and Ted, and that was going on, my father actually told me, you might want to pursue another job, because I was in sales. I sold cars. The recession was coming on, the housing market crashing. He also did bankruptcy as well too. So he kind of said, hey, you might want to find a different job because things are about to get bad. So I knew I've always wanted to serve. I've always been an outdoors guy. I don't obsess over sports like my brother does. I'm more hunting and fishing and going out, being in the woods and everything like that. So I decided that I wanted to go and join the Army and just kind of restart my life.
Well, he may not have been arrested for a year, but he was the one saying it was her right from the day, right? So he was telling the investigators, he was going, mom, right from the day. So yeah, it might have taken a year, but he was trying to make it look like it was her right from that day. So that doesn't sway me.
And he says he likes the woods and stuff like that, so he decided to go join the military to go to the Middle East.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of trees there.
The word I think you've used previously.
Yeah, just, I knew going into the Army, I'll be able to, get away from the situation that was starting to brew up.
What was that?
That Melody was having an affair with Ted Righto.
What does that have to do with your situation starting to brew up? In your life, what does that have to do with your life?
I didn't want to see the drama and turmoil going on between my parents and this, and, I had my grandmother
So
in the hospital.
you're telling this jury that you joined the Army because you believed your mother was maybe starting to have an affair with Ted Wiley, and so you're going to join the Army. And it's not because you're bouncing from job to job to job in the mid-2000s and you don't have your own home. That wouldn't be why you joined the Army?
There's a lot of different factors of the reason why I joined the Army. I mean, the stuff going on between, in my parents' relationship, and then also my dad telling me about, the economy going, and I started to see it. I wasn't selling as many cars and stuff like that, and, I just wanted to, it was my way of kind of going into how someone would go to college. They're getting away from the family, and also I chose, the Army path.
So you were born in 1983?
Yes, sir.
And then you joined in 2008, so that would have made you about 25?
I was about 24 around then.
So a little older than the average person coming into the Army at that point.
Yeah, I mean, when I actually went through basic training, there was actually several people who were older than me, and some same age, but yes, majority of them were, 19, 20 years old.
How you like that?
And where did you said yesterday where you did your basic? I didn't write that down.
Down at Fort Benning in Columbus, Georgia.
And what was your report day on that?
My report?
Your first day of report. The date.
I don't remember the exact date. I remember my dad dropping me off at the recruiting office, and the recruiter took me by the car and took me down to MEPS down in Atlanta. I don't really remember the exact date.
And you testified yesterday that you actually remembered your mother crying when you were leaving.
That was when they dropped me off at the airport when I was flying back to El Paso to deploy to Iraq within 24 to 48 hours.
And that was in 2009, correct?
Yes.
Right. And your tour in Iraq, do you remember when that started?
It was in April of 2009.
How long were you on tour over there?
It was we didn't hit a full exact 12 months, but it was like 10 and a half months or so. Because I came back, I believe it was in May of 2000 I want to say March of 2010. So we were just shy of the year mark. I know we were close enough to the year mark that, we were allowed to put the 2 marks on our dress uniforms of a full year deployment.
And I've got to ask you some questions about that tour. And I know that I don't like to ask anybody about this, but in this case, you've mentioned some things that you saw. You mentioned that you knew what burned bodies looked like. So I need to know, you refer to yourself as a bullet catcher. So I need to know kind of some idea for this jury what you experienced in Iraq.
So on that deployment, I was part of a specialized group. It's called PSD, Personnel Security Detachment, and we escorted high-ranking officers, any celebrities who came out on the USO tour. Because the base I was at, we had a building, the ziggurat. It's from the Bible, home of Abraham. So anybody who came out to entertain us and all, they wanted to go out and see it. So we would provide security for them. But majority of the time, we were going out and providing security for high-ranking officers, meeting with local leaders in Iraq, and escorting officers from base to base, make sure they were okay. We also escorted EOD and the bomb sniffing dogs. And we did a lot of security for different stuff. We even did prisoner transport. We would go and pick up prisoners off, Chinook helicopters and transport them to the jails that we had. And we just did a wide variety of security, and we also did patrols too as well.
So it would have been during the patrols that you saw the burned bodies?
Yeah, I mean, it's a third world country. I mean, I've always said to the people here who complain about this country, it's like, go to those countries. It makes you sick on the stuff you see. But yeah, I mean, I've seen bodies. I witnessed a dump truck flip over and crush a vehicle with 5 people in it and pancaked it.
Did it flip over because of an IED?
No, it flipped over because we were on a mission. We were transporting some top secret information, and a vehicle came up from behind. So the gunner on the last vehicle, he always pulled the 6 o'clock type, position. He got, whatever was coming up behind. So there was a car coming up. He flagged them to stop or whatever. Well, they got over onto the other side of the road, and so be it. A dump truck was coming up, and they both turned the same direction. The dump truck flipped over and landed right on top of the vehicle, and there was about 4 or 5 occupants in that vehicle, and it pancaked the vehicle. And it happened literally right in front of my truck. I had to slam on the brakes, and it was
I don't really get
between
why he's
the front of
letting
my
him say
truck
this
and
stuff.
the dump truck that flipped over. That's how close it came from us wrecking. And of course, I had to pull around to pull security, and my PC, the guy who sits next to me, he goes, do you see anybody alive in there? And I looked down, and it was a gruesome scene. And I was like, I highly doubt anybody's alive in that. So, we saw stuff like that. I mean, you see burning vehicles with people inside them. I mean, my platoon got blown up by IED one night. We've been rocketed, mortars coming in. I experienced a lot.
Did you ever have to move any of those bodies?
No.
And
Hey,
in this
man.
action, did you have to take any kind of tactical training out in the field, or any tactical movements out in the field, and wherein you actually killed somebody in Iraq?
I can't confirm, that I had somebody in my sights and I saw them go down, but there was some. It's hard to describe. Talk to people who've never been in that situation. So, I can say one thing, but y'all can think something different. You're not there. It's not what's on the movies. It's completely different.
I think
And
I
you
know what he's
experienced
doing.
some PTSD since that time, correct?
For a while, I didn't like being in crowded places. I just felt uncomfortable. But no, I never
Maddie
really
B
had
became a
nightmares
member.
and nothing like that. The
You
only
know
problems
what?
I ever had was being in a very crowded
Now
area.
we're
I
8
didn't like. I
away.
didn't feel comfortable. And also loud noises.
Till I change my name.
Like something big fell and made a loud noise.
So, anyone who's new coming in to chat for the first time today, I have a goal. Anyone who gifts memberships or becoming a new member or super chat or anything like that, you know what? 10 of those, and I changed my screen name to Hella Mad. I am mad. I am mad today. Yes. Today is the cross challenge because Scott is on cross. And I am hella mad and burning with rage, Scott. And we're finding out why. Oh yeah. Goal. And thank you for being a member for 1 month. I'm so mad. Angela. I'm so mad. Yeah. That's right. 8 to go, guys. 8 to go.
Yeah, y'all might get scared, but my heart rate goes up a little bit more because it brings back to the time we
Don't
got
hella
home.
talk, hella mad.
Because after that, this still to this day, it still does that.
Did you seek any treatment?
No,
Did you ever think maybe you should have?
no, because it never controlled my life. When all that stuff happens, I just especially like loud noise or something, I just take a couple of deep breaths and just calm down and go about my day. Don't really think about it anymore. Now I've gotten it's been a long time since I didn't I feel more comfortable now being in very crowded areas. That all went away once I was kind of back home. So.
And that was in 2010, correct? Is when you got back home?
Yeah, I got back from deployment in 2010.
And then you went to Texas after that, right? Or did I get
I was still stationed in Texas, so that was where I lived. And like I said, when I was deployed, I re-enlisted. It came up on time for my contract to be extended, and I took the choice of getting duty station and re-enlisted, and I chose to go to Fort Benning with 3rd ID. That was the unit that was there. And then within a year, it was just a few months after getting back from deployment, I started the process of PCSing to Fort Benning.
What PCS? What does that mean?
Permanent
PMSing?
change of duty station.
Okay.
It's,
Were you planning on doing a career in the military?
yes, I was.
I think I heard you say that in a previous interview. That was the plan.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I probably wouldn't have stayed in the infantry. I would have gone with a different job because it's very hard on your body being in infantry. And I was getting older. So, matter of fact, when I joined the Army, they begged me to be a helicopter mechanic because I scored so high on the ASVABs on the mechanical side, and they were really needing helicopter mechanics. But I didn't want to turn wrenches. I wanted to be infantry. So, I didn't choose that route. So I was thinking about, going into that side once, came up for re-enlistment again. And then we had a meeting with our first sergeant, and then we had a meeting with battalion commander, and it came out that they were going to be releasing a lot of people. And I was one of the people, and on my DD 214, it says reduction in force is the reason why I was separated from the Army.
And you were frustrated by that, obviously.
Yeah, I had a contract. That's what I wanted to do. I had no choice in the matter. I volunteered to join the Army, and then they're just going to let us go. They gave us insurance for 180 days and said, if you got any other issues, just take it up with the VA.
So how long did you hang out in Columbus after being discharged before moving back in with your parents? Because you were married at the time, right? What was her name again?
Gina.
Gina.
I was married, but we were not together. She was living up here in Atlanta. And no, about the time that when I was getting released from the Army, the 2 guys I lived with, one other one was getting out as well too, and the other guy was being restationed at another base. So we were all moving out, and I was also coming back up home and trying to join Milton Police Department.
What year was that?
That was 2012. So I had quite a bit of time to the out processing. When you start getting out of the Army, it's not
Right.
a one-day thing. It's several months. So they prep you for going back in the civilian world and allow you to go and seek other jobs and stuff like that. So I came up and started the process of joining Milton Police Department, and I did a PT test and I did their
Why Milton specifically?
because I knew the area. I went to Milton High School. I knew. It was my town, my hometown that I grew up and went through school to. So I was more comfortable doing it there. I wanted to do it there, if anywhere. So I just knew the area. It was my home. So, I was able to provide service for my country. Now I can provide it for my hometown.
You feel like that was what your life was meant to be, right, Scott?
To serve, yes.
Yeah, be in service, whether law enforcement, military, that was what you were meant to do.
Yes, I was happy doing that. I enjoyed it.
And why? Why do you think?
Because I've always liked helping people. Look at me, when you're working on a car, you're helping somebody out. You're helping them
Such a
fix
good
their-
guy.
Well, that's service. That's a different type of service.
But
So-
yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I just, like being there for people and help out and, do what I can. I enjoyed it.
Do you think that also you enjoyed people coming to you for help too?
Yeah. I have to do as much as I can. If somebody came up to me, if I'm able to do it, I'm going to help them out.
You go to law enforcement for help, right?
Yeah.
That's what. Okay. And did you apply anywhere else?
No, because I started there, and once I got through the one-on-one interviews, so I first did the PT test, then I did the written exam, and once
How'd you do on that?
well, I passed because they said if you didn't pass, you wouldn't be called in for the one-on-one interview. So obviously I passed. I got called in. It was like another week or two later that I got called in for an interview, and I was in there with them for quite a bit of time. And the gentleman who was walking me out, he made the comment to me. He goes, "You have a GI Bill, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "If you can, try to get your post certification." I was like, "Okay." And
So does that mean that the GI Bill would have even paid for your post certification?
he said that to me. I didn't know if it
Go down to
would.
Dipstick, which back then was down near Macon.
I don't know where it would have been at.
Okay.
So,
Precise? No, they didn't tell you that?
no, sir.
Okay. Go ahead. Just keep telling me about that.
So, he made that comment, and then it was a couple days later, I got a letter. And it pretty much said, thank you for your time and all, but it was along the lines as we don't have the funding to be able to send somebody to the academy. We're more looking for somebody who's already post-certified. But in the future, reach back out and apply again. So that's what I got. And then I started looking at, I went around to Roswell and stuff. I asked police officers there. I was, kind of seeing if it was the same thing. And everywhere I went, they were like, yeah, they're not hiring rookies. They're wanting already people who've already been police officers. And this was, towards the end of the recession. A lot of counties had money and, our economy was not the greatest. Kind of almost what we're in now. But so that's why that got put on hold. And at the same time, we purchased
You're an
a farm
idiot
and,
sitting there just flowering on
Slow
Old
down real
Cross.
quick. So did you apply to anywhere in Cherokee County? Holly Springs, any of those?
At that time, no. So, once we were at the farm and, it was getting to where, things were getting better. I started seeing a lot of commercials about counties hiring and everything like that. I started researching into Cherokee County.
Okay.
And, I was about to put my application in and start the process over again of doing that. And all this started. And then...
All this meaning the barn? Meaning the farm?
No, I'm meaning as my father being murdered.
Okay, so that would have been the gap.
Oh,
Let's go back.
that.
I'm back in 2012. You're still living in Hampton Hall, yes?
Well, during that time, I was in the process of processing from the Army and moving back.
But when you were applying to Milton and all those things, you moved back in with your parents, correct?
I was still living down at Fort Benning, but I was coming up staying on the weekends and doing that stuff. But by the time that I was able to, I was finished out processing down at Fort Benning, yes, I moved back home to the Hampton Hall neighborhood.
Okay. And do you remember what, specifically time of year that was in 2012?
Kind of a springtime, I want to say. I don't remember the exact day, but it was, if I remember right, somewhere probably around there, spring, summer.
Okay. So speaking of, restarts, you kind of did a restart by going into the military. Tell me, did you ever hear your parents talk about their own restart around that time?
No.
Restarting, and that was kind of why they bought the farm.
So at the time, everything seemed fine. They seemed like their normal selves again. So I never felt comfortable, talking to either one of them about, the drama that they had between them. But to me, it seemed like everything was back to normal, a happy life. And, they talked about putting the house up for sale and buying the property. And so everything seemed normal to me.
Well, tell me about the purchase of the farm. How did they find it? Why did they get it? What do you know about that?
So, if I remember right, we kind of started looking out at properties around the Milton area. And we looked at several different properties. And
You were going with them?
yes.
All right.
And we,
Why were you going with them? Had they already determined that you'll be kind of the property manager if they get a property? Or
No,
how did that come
not at that time, no. I was just, there.
Nah.
I was, one of the children who was, I was living back with them and all. And
How were you making a living at that time? Do you have a job?
so at the time I started working for, I got back into selling cars again. So when the police department thing didn't work out, I went back into selling cars. I worked for Nally Acura out by Dobbins Air Force Base.
Okay.
And I worked there until they
He's
now they opened up a
bullshitting.
Toyota dealership on Highway 9 in Roswell. They remodeled and built a whole new one. So once that opened, I put in a transfer to go from Acura to Nally Toyota.
Well, he
'Cause it
sells
was much
cars
shorter
so
drive from
you know
Alpharetta
he's
to Marietta.
honest.
And how long were you there?
2 weeks.
It seemed like over a year. So and
2
my dad
weeks.
they came in and
Yeah,
bought the
2 weeks.
Toyota Sequoia from me. So I was there for a little while.
About when did you start
Beta mate.
running the farm?
So I left Toyota, and then I started working at the warehouse. Was working there. That was when
Oh, he is so about to get called
they
out.
decided to sell the house and buy the farm. So I was, working there and in the process of help moving and everything there. So and then I lost my job. Probably
You lost your job in 13?
around there, yeah.
Right around middle of
We
13?
were already on the farm.
Okay.
It already became winter because the snow apocalypse happened.
Okay. So maybe even into 14.
No apocalypse.
Yeah, so I do definitely know I was still working for the company when that snowstorm came in and got so many people
Yeah, we're breaking up.
stranded on the highways
Hang
and
on.
everything. because I actually had to help Melody get home from that.
Okay. And so that would have been sometime in 14, and then you lost your job. What happened there?
So they used to have, the company I worked for, they imported furniture pieces from Europe. The company was called Europe to You. So
Wait, I thought you were working at a car place.
No, I left Toyota and started working at the...
I missed that. All right.
Yeah.
Another job at this point.
Yes,
you never
I was
said
working at
that.
the warehouse, doing that. So, but there's a building down in downtown Atlanta. It's a marketplace or something. It's where, everybody goes and sells to different companies and all. So everybody has their own, studios set up and stuff. Well, they asked me to go, they sent me down there a lot to pick up furniture and stuff like that. And they asked me to go down there, and they told me what, needed to be getting. My manager told me, and I told him, I was like, I need some help, because I know that piece I can't pick up by myself. He told me, okay, take such and, I don't remember the guy's name, take him with you. So we go down there. Well, a couple days later, I come into work, and
I don't think you're 6 to 8
the
inches.
owners were like, we told you to go down there by yourself. I was like, I never got told to go by myself. I was told to ask, and then I asked, the manager if I'm able to take somebody because there was some furniture I couldn't get by myself. And they're like, well, we didn't authorize that. I said, well, he did. So, they were pretty much made up their mind they were going to let me go. And I think it's,
And so, what you were just doing right there, and I'm sorry, I even got lost a little bit. You were explaining why you got terminated, correct?
Yes.
That's what that was?
Yeah, that's the reason why I lost my job there.
Okay, but you were terminated, and that was your explanation of why?
Yeah, that's the reason why. That was the reason why they told me that I was being let go, is because I wasn't authorized to take that employee with me to help out move the furniture.
Right. And so, was it at that point
Sorry.
that your dad basically finally said, "Just come on back, run the farm. You can't hold a job. Come run the farm."
No, he never said that.
He never said that. How did he say it then? I
So,
wasn't there.
after I lost my job, I let my dad know what happened and all. And I, once again, I sat and talked with my dad. I said, look, I really want to join, the police force. And he knew exactly why I was let go from the Army. And, he knew about the economy and everything. And we came on agreements that I would, manage the farm until people started hiring more in law enforcement.
So let's talk about that agreement.
People started
How'd
hiring
that work?
more.
I mean, where were y'all sitting on the farm when y'all came up with that agreement?
I don't remember exactly where we were sitting at when we came out. Most likely probably would have been down there by his office, because, we would sit out there and talk sometimes.
Right. And were you were living in the barn, or were you living in the house back in 2004?
I never lived in the house. I always lived above the barn.
Right. And had y'all got any animals by
They
that
didn't
point?
let me live in the house.
At that time,
Do you
we
live in
definitely
a
had
barn?
goats, and we started adding on more to the farm. We got our first horse, and then we got.
Was that your idea? Where did these ideas come from? How did we create this farm? Because you guys live, y'all live in Birmingham.
Is he calling
Years
himself
and
a
years.
horse?
Then you said it's kind of a smaller house, similar to the size that you live in now. Then you moved
Or
to
horse's
Atlanta,
ass.
Alpharetta, and then all of a sudden it's this huge house, the biggest house you'd ever imagined. Obviously, until you get to the house at Purcell Lane. But how did this come to pass? How did you guys decide to become farmers? I didn't really get a good answer for that yesterday.
It's interesting he's asking this question, right? Because clearly he's spoken to Melody, and Melody has probably told this defense attorney that they never even wanted to have a farm, right? And it was all Scott's idea, because Scott had nothing else to do with his life other than have some goats and crap on their property, which her and Big Daddy happen to have all this land that they bought, right? And so Scott decided that because they've got all this land, they might as well have some livestock. But they never made any money out of it or did anything with it because Scott's a fucking loser,
Yeah.
right? So let's see what he has to say to that.
I mean, my dad wanted something else that he could do more projects on. He ran out of projects at the old house. That's kind of why he wanted it more.
My dad wanted it, right?
I mean, I assume, if I remember right, they wanted something different. They wanted something bigger. He deserved it. I mean, he worked his tail off, and he could afford it.
He
and,
ain't there to corroborate that,
he grew up with his, grandparents and everybody having cattle. And I mean, I remember going to my great grandparents, Mama Parsons, and they had cows and chickens and all that. So, he wasn't opposed to it. Nobody was opposed to it.
Well, nobody was opposed to it, but who really wanted to do it? That's where I'm trying to get you guys to explain that to the jury.
My dad wanted property, and I would say, Melody and we all like having animals. My dad didn't really care.
He didn't care about the
He didn't care about, really having all the horses and everything like that.
So it was you and your mother that loved the animals. That was primarily the two people in this family.
Yeah, that, and, my brother's kids, they were excited about the horses, and, everybody enjoyed the animals.
But the primary care of the animals was you and your mom.
The primary care was me.
Okay, so it was you. You were the primary care. So how much would you say your mother cared for the animals and the property?
Like I said, she would do a little bit, but no, not on a regular, every single day basis. She would get out and feed and clean stalls and stuff like that. It was me who did all that.
So where'd your paychecks go?
yeah.
Where'd you get
I never
those?
got paychecks. I never, you know, like I said earlier, you know, my dad gave me a credit card and he's giving me a debit card, and you know, that's what it. There was no agreement on, you know, oh, you're going to get such
Look
and
at this
such
dude's
each.
You didn't
face.
have a set amount of money that you could live off of.
No, because he knew that I wasn't, you know, I wouldn't go out and try to buy a car or anything, stuff like that. You know, everything that I got was either for the farm or anything, but, you know, I could go out and have lunch, or I go out, you know, and go play golf with my buddies and, you know, do stuff like that. But, you know, I never really went on vacations anywhere. I didn't do any of that. And, you know,
Like Chris.
yeah, I mean, for the longest time, I went without ever seeing a beach. I mean, it was, you know, the last time I saw a beach, we went on a beach trip right after I got back from deployment. I was in the process of changing from Fort Bliss to Fort Benning, and we all took a beach trip down to Gulf Shores.
And that's the last time, even to this day, that you've seen the beach?
No, I've seen the beach since then.
Okay. Back during these years.
Yes.
So you would,
Dude,
on a
you're an
day-to-day
adult. Go to
basis,
the
if you
beach on
needed
your
money,
own.
You would have to get the credit card from your dad, correct?
Depending if he asked for it back. So,
And he would.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had it majority of the time. He gave
Yeah,
me
the beach
a
looked
card
great
and
right after the
said,
Gulf
"Look, this is all
oil
the stuff
spill."
You can, you know, buy all the feed and everything like that on this, and this is your card. So that's how my paychecks work. I mean, I was able to pay my cell phone bill, and
You would pay your cell phone bill?
yeah, with the credit card.
And on the card, did it say, you know, multiple people within a family can have a card, right, on the same account? Did it ever say Scott Farris on the card?
No, it never had my name on it
Okay. Why not?
because it was in my dad's name.
Right, let's talk about that. Why do you think your dad never gave you a card in your own name?
That wasn't my
No, I
money.
mean, it's,
He never told you?
no.
Okay.
I didn't care to have one with my own name on it. It never really struck my mind.
Okay. So,
Oh
and we're going
my
to get into
Lord.
probably this afternoon. I have a number of exhibits and a number of texts and a number of things that we're probably going to talk about today. But I want to know how your dad felt about your spending money. In your words. Because you were a
He never had a problem because, like I said, I never went out and did extravagant things.
Well, here's what I'm trying to ask you. You were, in the year 2013, you were a 30-year-old man, yes?
Yes,
Right, roughly a 30-year-old man.
Yes.
So you're a 30-year-old man, you're living at home.
Dirty
and
30s.
You don't have your own debit card, even though you're working for the family and you're not getting paid. He keeps taking it back from you. Almost weekly. You have to take it back. His card. Why do you think he kept you on such a financial tight leash?
He didn't keep me on that, and we didn't take it. He anytime that he needed his card is because he needed it for something. So I didn't question on that. So whenever he sent me a text message saying, "Hey, bring me my credit card," man, that was the time that he needed it, and I would wind up getting it back either the next day or a couple days later to give it back to me. Like, no, he never once cut me off from, you know, money.
So text messages that you've seen in this case. I mean, you've had your phone. You've gone through this many times in the district attorney's office. You even, I believe, we saw one earlier today where, I mean, he wants you to get other jobs, do other things. Can you talk about that for the jury?
So you're talking about the instance where it showed earlier that it's time for you to pursue another job? Because at that time...
Well, as a matter of fact, Judge, can you switch that back up? It's still pulled up. It's right here. Thank you, Judge.
Wait a minute. Hang on. I have to go full screen for a sec. Not only am I cross, but Seraph is cross too. And I think my internet's glitching, so I'll fix that. But anyway, thank you for taking me closer to being hella mad. And Seraph mad too. No. Okay. Oh, Effie loves it. Hello, Effie. Hello, Effie. Hang on. Say hi to Effie. Say hi to Effie. 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 Hi, Effie. Hello. Oh. Oh, okay. That's enough. All right. Cuddle time. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Back to where we were. So, seven more to go, guys. I'll change the banner in a sec. Now, do I need to fix my internet?
Mostly okay.
It's mostly okay? All right.
Yeah.
Right. 2017. I believe it was October 20th. From your dad to you, things will change dramatically. You need to pursue a job soon.
Yep.
You got to tell me what was going on around that time, Scott.
She was disappearing off to Tennessee. And
What does that have to do with you, Scott?
Judge,
You got a
I'm
kid
Judge.
there,
If he
no?
asks a question, we should be allowed under 611, 623.
Okay.
You keep cutting off.
let me finish the answer. Try to stay in the realm of the question. Go ahead.
So that question right there, at that time there was stuff going on between Melody and Rusty, and my dad was finding out. That's, earlier where you saw on, that the girlfriend of Rusty emailed him and all. That was about the same time period, and that was his way of saying that, he was going to sell the place. I mean, if he's going to file for divorce, he's going to sell the place, and that I needed to find work elsewhere. It wasn't referring to me as, he was putting it on me that I was freeloading off of him. No, that was him saying, hey, things are going to change.
All right. I'm going to get Dali to play this for a minute whilst I fix my internet. Sorry.
Okay. Send me the link.
Yep. Cool. Yep. There you go. Thank you very much.
I suppose.
Thank you for being very patient.
Like
with us
you were
for just a
freeloading
moment.
off of your dad.
No, because I put in a lot of work for him.
See how slow he talks? We have to
I worked
speed
my
it
butt
up.
off there at the farm, and I didn't ask for money and not do anything for him.
But you didn't really seem to get that much money. I mean, you would take out little amounts of money here and there, $100 here, $100 there to go play golf with Ted and do things like that, but you didn't have stuff. You didn't buy much stuff.
I didn't need it.
Okay. So you don't think it's unusual that you didn't ask for at least $500 a week? Something like that.
No, because everything I did wasn't, require that much money. I mean, I knew that I wasn't, having my own career and all. He was helping me out, and at the same time, I was helping him. So I wasn't going to go and, spend his money and not do work around the farm and help him out. I'm just not that. He raised me that way. So that's.
Old school.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a hard worker. I'm still to this day.
All right. I'm starting with Scott 88. So I'm going to show you some text messages. We can switch back, Judge. What was your phone number at the time?
It should be the same as now. It's always been the same. It's 404.
Aw.
So you can see in these, we use kind of a format that's not as good as the one the district attorney's office
Wanted
uses.
to
We
call
got it
him.
from them. And so source address, what phone number was that? The 678?
Darn it.
That was your dad's cell phone. All right, so I've got a text message here that looks like it was on 2018 629. What does it say?
The very top one?
Very top one.
Bring me the credit card.
All right. Then kind of working back in time, what does the next one say?
Come down here?
All right, is it from your dad to you?
Yes.
All right, what would that have been? Do you have any idea?
So that would have mean I was upstairs in my apartment. He pulled up to the barn, and so he was texting me for to come down.
Right. So this message right here, the next one, which is about 5 days before, 612, the 9032. That's your dad. And that's to you. And what does it say?
The credit card better be in my wallet before I leave tomorrow.
Right. Then I think earlier that day, what does the next message say?
Bring me the credit card now.
All right. And then what does the next one say?
I grabbed a credit card because I needed to get Luke and Leroy flea stuff from the vet today.
So that would have been you. This is earlier. This is about a week before, I guess. 6/7. It looks like it says of 2018. But you had to tell him what you would spend money on. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, in that instance, I told him why I was grabbing the credit card to go buy flea stuff for him. I always let my dad know what I was spending his money on.
Right. And it was in his wallet. That was where the credit card went.
Depending on the time, yeah.
Right,
If
so-
I didn't have it, he had it, and it would have been in his wallet.
Right. So what I'm saying is that this is your dad's wallet. Wherever it was in the house. But you seem to act like you knew where it was. It was always in one of two places. Is what you would say, right? In the car or on the dresser.
No, I never said it was in the car. I never once found my dad's. I never had to go get my dad's wallet out of his car. It was always on the dresser in the master bedroom.
It would never be downstairs with him.
I mean, it could have been at one. If he was down in the office working,
Right.
I mean, yeah, it would be in his pocket if he had it. But if it was not on his person, 99% of the time it was laying on the dresser in the master bedroom.
So if this is the wallet, this is the credit card, you literally would have for every single purchase. You would go to your dad, get it out of his wallet, take it, use it, and then he would almost always be texting you asking for it back.
No, that's not what happened.
Well, why do these text messages read that way, Scott?
Because you're not showing the
Read that
the
way,
other
Scott.
ones that came along with them.
Like what?
I mean,
we're gonna put all this in evidence for the jury to see. We're just picking out him asking you for that credit card over.
you know, like I said,
Where's
if
my
I had
credit
it and he
card,
needed it for
Scott?
something, he would text me for bringing the credit card. And, you know, we were just exchanging it back and forth.
It'd be much easier if he just was dead.
I'm gonna show you. Scott
Sheesh
90.
on the sheep.
Read this message that's on the top of the screen. Oh, sorry. Can you see it now? You tell me when.
It keeps getting fuzzy whenever it moves. Okay.
Sean, I'm doing a
She went
cross.
to Alabama, put money in the account so I could
a
get something
cross
to make dinner.
challenge.
What do you want for dinner?
Right, and you and your dad, that would be the
gonna
vast
change my
majority
name
of the
to
conversations
Hella
I've
Mad.
seen that you and your dad would have is you would talk about dinner and that credit card. Wouldn't you agree with that? Y'all didn't talk about the Crimson Tide, which obviously you like Tide
No, we always talk about football in person.
in person.
Yeah.
But in text, this is your conversations. Dinner, credit card.
Yeah, we were short and sweet. I mean, that's how we would communicate a lot of times. Send text to each other.
All right, so the next message going down sometime around in May of 2018. I think this one, you're 2667 to your dad. Read it to me.
Put more money in the account so I could go get something to fix dinner. Any recommendations on what you want?
Right. So explain to me. So you got to help me understand how this account is working. You keep asking to put money in the account. Was there a separate account that you would use, essentially for the barn for yourself, from your dad's other primary account?
So my dad, once things started getting really bad, things started occurring a lot more, Melody disappearing to Tennessee, she was spending a lot of money. And also my dad set it up. I really don't know if he opened a different account or what he did, but he gave me a card and he's like, look, this is to, account. I'm only going to put so much money into it. And if you need more, just let me know and I'll put more money. Because there was a time, you haven't shown the text message, that he was asking me, I do remember that, I had to explain that she kept taking the credit card from me and going and buying stuff. So he didn't want her spending the money like she was. So he kind of managed to, get that other account. He gave me the card. And so if I need to go get fertilizer or anything like that, or, get stuff to make dinner, I'll just send him a text and say, hey, put money in the account and, I'll go do this. And
Right.
like you're not showing the other text messages that went along with it. Like the last one, it would have said, hamburgers or something like that.
And everybody knows I'm pretty slow, but if we sat here and went through every text message between you and your dad for 5 or 6 years, we'd be here for a really long time. So we're trying to move this along as quickly as we can, but I'm going to give the jury every bit of those text messages. Here's what I need to know right now. He says to you in this text message, again, bring me my credit card now. Is that what it says?
Yeah, so bring down my card now.
All right, but that's a very affirmative, firm statement now. It's not, please bring me my credit card. When you get a chance, could you bring me the credit card? I know you're busy, son. It doesn't say
Daddy
that.
mad.
It says, bring me my credit card now. Every one of these are now, or put it back in my wallet. I haven't heard the word please. Did your dad use the word please a lot with you?
In person, yeah, but not in text message.
But not in text message.
Yeah.
So again, this is just your word with no proof of that. But when we actually look at the way that he would communicate with you about the money, it clearly shows that he's telling you what to do and when to do it. Yes?
No, I know exactly when he would send a text like that. He'd be pulling up, he had to get to work. So he's like, I need it now, I gotta go.
That's your explanation?
That text message like that's what comes to my memory of, when he would send a text like that. He'll be in his Mercedes down below the barn. I'll be upstairs and he'd say, bring me my credit card now. And so I would, leave my apartment, walk down and hand him the credit card.
Oh, I'm going to come down here. It's still in what looks like May of 2018. This is your dad to you, and I guess it's right around Mother's Day of 2018. Can you read that to me, please?
Since you have my credit card again, you need to order some flowers for me. My mom's birthday is today.
Okay, so that was for his mother?
Yes.
Okay. But since you have my credit card again, you wouldn't tell him sometimes you'd go get it?
No, he knew when I would get it.
Okay. But sometimes he wouldn't, right?
No, I always pretty much, he knew when he would have he would have it or I would get it.
Right. He knew that when you would have it because he controls when you would have it, yes?
He didn't control it. It was communication. It was, he knew I let him know, hey, I'm going to be grabbing a credit card, and, that's just him what he's saying. Since I had it, order some flowers.
Sorry, finish. You got anything else on that?
No, it's just saying.
All right. May the 8th, could you read that text message from your dad to you?
Sorry, top one, bring me the credit card.
Yeah, and
Bring me the credit card.
totally. He's acting
down,
like it's
428.
their credit card.
What's that about?
Where's the truck?
And that's your dad to you.
Yep.
Right. All right, so these text messages, again, everybody's relationship with their parents is always very different, but y'all seems to be very businesslike and cold. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
At least
He's a bride. Entitled bride.
You disagree with that?
Yeah, I mean, we were always short on text messages. I mean, I still catch crap about, from friends of my fiance. They ask me a question, and I'll be like, okay.
But you don't remember the way that you would communicate with your mother back during this time?
I mean, yeah, I remember.
Well, tell me about it. What do you remember?
I mean, there's a lot of different stuff that you're communicating on. You have to be more specific on, what you're kind of referring to.
Okay, I will. I'm just messaging for you. I'm tendering Scott's 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, and so far also 91, Scott 90, Scott 88.
Did you get that one?
I think I did. All right. So you would talk a lot more to your mother. So it actually you don't really talk to your dad much on these cell phones. I gotta zoom this one in. This was supposed to have been Adrian's job, but I've taken it. I've got it, Adrian. All right. So
Zoom in.
any more?
If you follow the guide I gave you on the Elmo, the top half of the
Only
document and the bottom half of the
narcissists chew
document.
gum.
I'm bad with instructions.
Well, look at the thing.
Top half. I'm on top half. I'm good. I've got it. Can everyone see it? Scott, can you see it?
It's a little fuzzy, right? But yes, I can make it out.
Why don't you bring your assistant up?
Adrian, can you come help? Thank you.
Since I gave her
What's
directions
going
during the
on?
break, and she'll probably follow my
She does.
directions.
She's the best, Judge. She's the best. All right.
Oh, she's the
So,
best. Who's that?
These are messages that appear to be between your mother and you. Y'all are also talking about the credit cards, right? Can you see that?
It appears so, yeah.
All right. So can you read it?
Well, the top one, need credit card.
Okay. About to head out.
Need
Why?
credit card.
Yeah, and then leave me the credit card.
All right. Keep going, Adrian. If you could.
Looks like he's staying home. Great. I'm going to sit out here for about another hour. Let's go to Hobby Lobby so we can get bows for the wreaths for the barn. They are rough. Oh, sorry, that's real fuzzy over there. They're in rough shape.
Yes, we do need more information about this.
Focus in.
Yeah, it's like focusing and then going out.
The light a little bit.
How about now?
Okay, they didn't
hell
have
she
any the
come
other
from?
day. May have gotten more. He went to work.
This is in 2017, around November 2017. Yes.
Yes, the dates on them. Yes.
Okay. This is when you and your mom.
Yeah.
And keep reading, please. And say who it's from. So just like Scott Farris.
I mean, it's not really showing me who's sending it, who's receiving it. I don't see that.
How
I see
about-
my name and my number, but I don't see her.
Do you see that right there?
Yes,
Is
I
that
see
your name?
that, but I
That's
don't-
you, right? That's your phone number?
Yes, that's my
So that means
Oh,
it's
do you
coming from
see
you.
that?
To your mother.
Okay, I'm going off your words of that.
Things will
place.
Well, we have
change
to do the
dramatically.
attorney's office, so
You
this-
need to
this is
pursue
all
a job
household.
soon.
Okay. I just know out from the other text messages they showed, two phones and back and forth. So I'm just going off of what you're saying. And so yeah, he went to work and we're somewhere because he just left. Want to go to Hobby Lobby with me? They are closed on Sundays.
That's from your mom. All right, so right there, you mentioned he went to work or somewhere because he just left. Would you and your mom talk a lot about where your dad was?
I mean, if she would ask what he was doing, or I would ask her what he was doing if he was home, or if a lot of times if she was gone up in Tennessee, she would ask where my dad was. So it's text messages like that. I mean, from reading those are different times, different parts of conversations.
Okay, so moving forward to December of 2017. Okay, can you see that, Scott?
Yes, I can make it
All right,
out.
so that'd be, it looks like December 28,
See
2017.
that skull.
Could you read it?
Did you feed him? Because I haven't heard from him.
Melody says nope. Then you ask,
Is he home?
and she says,
Just came in.
all right. Back around Christmas. Go ahead, read it.
Did he go up there?
She says no idea. Then I believe other text message from one. Actually, that was January 25th. I can see a little bit over here in 2018. January 28th. Did he ever come home? That's you, Scott. Melody says yes. All right, that text message right there.
So top one, my buddy's about to pick me up, and we're going to be shooting and competition today.
Okay. You gonna be home for dinner? Yes, shooting last rounds now. Do you remember that conversation at all? You remember a lot. You remember a lot of context. You've talked to this jury about a lot of context and a lot of the things that you and your father. You can remember all these things, but when we start talking about these conversations that you had with your mother, it seems like you can't remember any of them. That's what I'm saying.
Objection form is not a question. He's testifying.
Why can't you remember these conversations?
Because there's all these right here. They're different. Sections of the conversation. I don't have the full.
Well, I have a theory. So I'm not good at math, but I had somebody in my office do some math. Would you disagree
I'm a lawyer.
that in the
I can't do
6
math.
months from January the 1st to June the 1st of 2018 that you called your mother 134 times and that she called you 235 times on the phone? That sound about right?
I wouldn't argue it.
Okay. And in that same period of time that you called your dad 14 times.
Yeah.
And he called you 16 times.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, to me, tell me if you disagree. I'm going to put this in the phrase of a question. Tell me if you disagree. It seems that at that time period, around the time of your father's passing, you were far closer to your mother than to your father.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Then explain.
I mean, you're asking why there was more communication between her and I because my dad was at work. I didn't call my dad up all day long every day and disturb him at work. It was, she was there at the farm too, and we were the ones. My dad did projects on the weekend, but we were the ones doing stuff around the farm, throughout the week. So yeah, there's a lot more communication between her and I, and versus my dad and I. He was a busy man. He's a lawyer just like you, and he's got to work.
Now, it sounds like he was a much better lawyer than me, but I want to keep going on these conversations with your mother. Again, moving forward to February of 2018, similar types of
I wish they
conversations
showed
that you guys
Melody
keep having,
there.
wanting to know where Gary is all the time. Why? Just read it, please, for the record.
Is he going to work today? Is he going? Why?
He says he's gone. Why?
He's going. Why?
That's your mother asking you why. Why? And you say?
Didn't know if he was or wasn't for President's Day.
Okay.
And let me guess, he is staying home.
Let me guess,
And your mother
he
said-
took his wallet.
Don't know. I'm at Walmart.
So it seems, and tell me again if you disagree with this, but it seems that you and your mother were constantly communicating with each other about where your father was. Yes?
I mean, yeah, we're trying to figure out what he was doing.
Right? Because I think you've made the statement that when he was on the farm, and you said this, that he would break things and he would mess things up.
He would start projects and not finish them, and I would have to end up finishing them. And like I've always said about my dad, he was incredibly book smart, but he didn't have as much common sense.
He didn't have as good common sense as you and Melody.
Yeah, I mean, it's either you're going to have be really great at book smarts, or
You can't have both.
You can have both, but in my dad's case, I don't even know if he knew how to turn on the dishwasher. I mean, but he can give you every history of World War II. It's just that type of person.
Every history of World War II.
Messages.
Your dad was
and from
Sean?
Finances about he controlled his pocketbook with you, and you said what you said about your mother, but he also controlled it with you with an iron fist.
No, he didn't.
You just you'll never agree, despite the words on the page. His control. You had no free association, no free power over your own money.
What do you mean by free power over my own money?
Exactly what I mean. You had no ability without asking or going and literally taking the credit card from your father's wallet. You had no access to funds without first asking permission or going and getting it. And then when you did go get it, it was clear within the text.
Objection. Your proper form. Testifying, not question.
He's got a question at the end. We'll get there. Go ahead.
When you did go get it,
You laughed at the
he would
prosecutor.
immediately ask for it back. Yes,
Not immediately, no.
he kept tabs on his money.
Well, yeah, because, a lot of his money was being spent elsewhere, not by me.
Not because he didn't trust you.
No, he trusted me. Since
Hey,
he gave me a
Sarah.
credit card, and and when he set up the other account, it was so he could keep more control of keeping her from spending all the money up in Tennessee.
And that's your testimony.
That's why I know for a fact Mom
No.
and Dad set up the account and only put so much money in there.
Wow.
Was so he's able to keep more control of his money. It's not for the fact that
20
he was more restricted
subs.
on me. Because you can see in all the text messages when I asked him to put more money in, he did it. He didn't argue with me. He did it. And it's just respect out of my dad. I'm not going to sit there and go and blow all his money.
Oh.
I'll let him know
Holy
what was going
mackerel.
on. Yes, there was times that,
I have the audio. I was waiting for you to pause it and then realized I was in control.
I can't pause it. You have to pause it.
Yeah.
Holy! Wait a minute. Let's go! Let's go, chat! Yeah. All right. Well, actually, I already had a what do you call it? A goal going, and the goal was that I had 7 super chats left, new memberships, gifted memberships, any amount. So should I just count that as any amount? Coffee donations to go till I change my name to Hella Mad,
Yes.
because I am hella mad and burning with rage, Scott. And now I know why. Because Scott Farris is on cross.
Yes.
And I'm supposed to get cross when people gift me today. And I'm so cross with you right now, J-Rock. Narcissist! But sure, for each gift Trump reports an illegal. I think he's already started doing that, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
How about I'll make that 4 times gifted memberships for the 20, because people generally give 5 at a go. How's that one? Right. So now I'll change it to banners. Let's go. So at the moment we've got 7 to go. So we'll make it 3 more to go. Until I change my screen name to Hella Mad. And thank you so much, even though I'm cross.
Praise Taka.
J-Rock. Praise Taka. Let's keep going. Thank you very much, J-Rock.
Taka ho. Taka hi. Taka ha ha.
He would see bank statements of, of Melody spending money and stuff like that, and he would, get, pissed off and then send me a text saying, stop spending, so much money, but it wasn't referring as to me doing it. He was frustrated that his money was being spent up in Tennessee.
I want to talk real quick before I ask you about these text messages on the screen right here. I do want, you keep referring to the money, though, as his money. You're aware that when people are married, that money is an equal amount your mother's money as his money. It's their money. Right?
Wait, what?
Yes.
Right. You refer to it as his, but it's theirs. It's marital property.
Yes.
Yeah?
Legally,
Hey.
yes.
Absolutely. And in
Now
reality,
we talk
that
in the
is what the
house.
bonds of marriage mean. Okay?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So your mother would show frustration as well and say, never mind, I won't go because all we do is work. That's you, right? In uppercase. What are you talking about right there? Do you remember?
That, it doesn't ring a bell, but that could have been, me wanting to either could have been going to hang out with friends or go play golf or something like that. But, that was just me saying, never mind, I won't go do it and I'll do the work.
And then she says to you, don't like it, get a job, and move out. Right?
Yes.
Did she say that a lot to you?
Yes, she did.
Because she thought you were a mooch.
I guess in her eyes, yeah.
Right? And because you are a mooch.
No, I wasn't.
And your father saw you as the exact same way, and he kept a very tight rein over you and your mooching off of him.
No, that was never the case.
Well, also your mother would say this.
That's
My
it,
patience
guys.
with you is gone. I promise you things are going to change. I'm not continuing to live like this. Your life is not going to continue like
I
this.
have another one for good
What
measure.
does that mean? That was in May of 2018.
Thank you.
So you want my opinion on why she would say something
I
like
asked
that?
you, and I'm going to tell you what I think, but I'm asking you.
Oh, hang on. What's he gonna? Wait, I want to hear what he said.
In my opinion on that, because at that time, she was disappearing to Tennessee to be with, lo and behold, came out to be Rusty.
Can you tell me how that has anything to do with the fact that you were taking money from the family and you were not working? You wouldn't do any work. You would go golf. How many times a week would you go golfing?
It varied. I could play golf 1 time a week or 2 times a week, but we always played Twilight. Do you play golf?
I play golf.
So you know what Twilight is.
But any
It's
longer,
the end of the day golf.
You asked me a question. I'm going to answer the question.
I was just asking if you knew what, if you play golf.
I wish.
I mean, not as much as Donald Trump. I don't play golf that much. God.
How do you change your YouTube name? Oh God, where is it?
What?
Settings. Is it in settings? How do you change your YouTube name?
Oh. It's a process.
Is it?
No, I think it's in settings.
I could play as much
Okay,
golf as you
I'll
could.
find it.
Because I only get to play 3 to 4 times a year, and I'm terrible at it. But you play golf how many times a year?
I couldn't give you an exact number on that.
More than 3 or 4 times a year, right?
But yeah, at that time, yes.
Okay, but you call it twilight golf. It's a little bit cheaper, right? How much around?
It was like, at the time, $20-something. It was like 22, 23, somewhere in there, between $20 and $30 to play a full 18-hole of golf.
Right, and you get a 6-pack of beer too.
Yeah, not a lot of times we drank. And
Cart girl come around, give you a drink.
they didn't have a cart girl during the weekday at Twilight, so no.
But you go on the weekend too, right?
Nah, very, very rarely do we go, because it costs so much more to go play golf on the weekend.
And holidays, right?
Yes.
Because certainly on July the 4th of 2018, you were out playing golf.
Yeah, we try to make it a tradition between us to play 4th of July golf.
Going to the lake.
Yeah.
Right, you had a lot of buddies over all the time. Y'all had some grilling out. Y'all did some grilling. Testify to that.
Yeah.
Shooting on the property.
Yeah.
Right. What I'm getting at, and this might be getting close to the 12:30 time that I believe the judge said we would be having lunch. I'm just waiting for my stopping point.
I'm waiting for a message from the administrator. But if you get to play,
I'm getting close. That's why. Okay. But what I'm getting at is that you, instead of doing your required job at that farm, you'd be gone a lot of times. And you wanted to know where your father was, texting your mother all the time. Where's Dad? Where's he at? What's he doing? So that you could sneak
That's not
on.
on judge of the form. He's testifying. He's not asking a question. It's not a compound question. It's pure up, and Mr. Weaver likes to do it. He's testifying.
try to rephrase this.
I'll try to rephrase. You wanted to know where your daddy was so that you could go play golf and just not do what he wanted you to do. Yes?
No.
You felt essentially, and you were treated essentially by your father, you were a 35-year-old man in 2018, but you were treated like a teenager. Yes?
No.
Why not?
He didn't treat me like a teenager. He treated me like an adult, but, I work for him. I work there to maintain it. Pull up all the other text messages about us talking about projects and measuring out stuff, and him asking my opinion on
What are you
stuff that
measuring?
needed to be done around the farm and equipment being bought and stuff like that. Those text messages are in there too. I honestly do not feel like he treated me like a teenager. No.
You would agree with me that this lifestyle that you were leading in 2018
Was full of sin.
wasn't going to be feasible for much longer. Yes, you would agree with that.
What do you mean by feasible?
This way of getting money from your father and living on the farm without having an actual job off of the farm, that wasn't going to be feasible for much longer, was it?
No, eventually at the point I was going to get to where I was going to go and pursue a job in law enforcement, and they would have to take care of the property themselves.
Right, because you told Melody, your mother, on the 5th, I believe, or the 4th. I think you said it was on the 4th. If this conversation happened, that you said, I'm going to be getting a job soon, and y'all are going to have to figure out how to run this place. That's what you said. You said it to the jury yesterday.
Yeah, I said it to her. She was laying in bed with the dogs. I definitely 100% remember that conversation.
So in your own words, you would agree with me that your lifestyle was coming to an end at that barn, yes?
Things were going to be changing, yes. I was going to be pursuing a career in law enforcement, and I would not be able
Oh,
to
were you now?
be there all
I'm
the time
sure
to
you
take care of the
love
farm.
that.
That would probably be a good breaking point.
All right, we'll break. Let's be here shortly. All right, go step out.
Oh. Think it's worked. Hey, hang on, guys.
Yeah.
Where's chat? Hello. Ha! You like?
I do. You're hella mad.
I am hella mad at burning the French sky. And now I know why. I might keep that.
You're easily entertained.
Well, I need to keep excited utterance because actually the name of my channel.
True.
Like, I can't not have it. But my channel name is actually hella mad excited utterance now. So thanks, chat. I am not changing it to Hella Talk. That's not happening. Hella Mad Excited Utterance is a great name. It's not bad.
No.
It's not bad.
Hella Talk could be better, but
It wouldn't be. No, it wouldn't be. It would be. It's not bad. I don't mind it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it a latte. As my daughter says, she says that a lot. I like it a latte. Yeah. How much for Hello Talk? $1,000. Yo.
Mrs.
Thousands.
Talks.
Mrs. Okay, million. Million for Mrs. Talks.
Mr.
Yeah.
and Mrs. Sex.
Fuck that.
It will be Mr.
Yeah.
and Mrs. Sex.
Remember that. Oh, you are in so much trouble.
Oh, that was the greatest.
Okay, so if you don't remember the Mr. and Mrs. X thing, that was from Gypsy Rose and what was his name? Oh, Nick.
Yeah.
Nick and Gypsy Rose when they were texting back in 2014 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Our new names will be Mr. and Mrs. X."
He probably was not the best at sexting in hindsight.
That was his sexiest one. Oh my god. That was too funny. Dear me. Look at how happy Hella is. I shouldn't be happy though. I should be mad.
Yes.
That was the challenge. That was the challenge. I love you, J Rock. You're awesome. Yeah, J Rock and I are up to japes. Taka. Taka indeed.
Yes.
Alright, that was fun. That was fun. And happy Australia Day. Happy Australia Day. I have things to share with you about ridiculous things that are happening around here on Australia Day. And also, tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a stream on, you know Kathy Shankster, as in the lady with the tip, granny with the tip in Delphi, the lady who had the giant filing cabinet, and she decided to get all of the tips out of the Orion database and print them all out and put them all into a giant filing cabinet. And it was her filing cabinet,
Yes.
hers, and she's the one who got out the one that said Richard Allen Whiteman, and he actually lived on Whiteman Road, and that was wrong. And so that's how she found it and went, hang on a minute, why was he cleared? He was there. He put himself at the scene. He must be guilty, guilty, guilty. And we can thank Miss Kathy Shank for the fact that he ended up being wrongfully convicted. Anyway, I want to do a stream, not so much about her, but about her very, very strange daughter, who happens to be good old buddies with Ron Logan. Isn't that weird? Don't you think that's a little bit weird, chat? Kathy Skank with her tip in her box. Yes, with the tip in her box. Yes, mad people laugh a lot, Marjorie. Yeah. Aussie, 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 indeed. I have my big Australian flag out the front just to piss people off who don't like Australia Day. And there are quite a few people around here, by the way, who don't like Australia Day.
Aw.
But they can shove it. I have a giant Australian flag out the front. So yeah, happy Australia Day to you, Sean, and any other Aussies in chat, and just everybody. Australia. 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 Shake it, shake, shake it, shake it, shake, shake it, shake it. Anyway, yeah, Australia. F yeah. Mavka, I don't use that word, but yes. Not so much our native people, but the people who are up at, like, you know how people get really like offended on behalf of others?
Yeah.
Those ones. Yeah, them. Half Irish says, hello, Dali. I don't know if I'll be home in time for whatever
problem.
streams tomorrow. Thank you, Half Irish. No props, mate. No props. I heard Australia should be flooded. Lots of us are flooded, and then lots of us are instead in heat wave, and bits of the country are burning. One of the interesting things about our continent is some of parts of it might have snow. Some parts of it might be burning. Some parts of it might be flooded. Some parts of it might be drought. We have a land of contrasts.
We're going to have our own continent soon as well. Suffolk Canadians.
Really? Global warming is real? It might be, I don't know, but it warms, it cools, it does all sorts of things. Who knows? I hope your fires aren't too bad this year. Look.
Can't be worse than ours.
It could be. we have some pretty nasty ones. But yeah, it depends whether or not we're able to control them properly. Bad storms in Brizzy Friday night. Oh yeah, there were some nasty ones in Brizzy Friday night. Yep, they were. But thank God they happened because they broke the heat wave. We had a shitty heat wave that ended on Friday night thanks to those storms. So it was good. Anyway,
Arizona or Phoenix is approaching the longest streak on record without rain.
Really?
Just a few days away, but I think it's going to rain on Monday and just shy of the streak.
Do you like it? Does that mean like drought for farmers? Do you have farmers in Arizona?
Not really. Well, not like in Phoenix, but like outside of it, yeah. But no, we're okay for now.
Exploding eucalyptus trees don't help. Yeah, well, they do. They just spontaneously combust.
Yeah, that was an issue in L.A. because some asshole sold them eucalyptus trees, I guess, and they kept catching fire.
Yeah, that happens. All right, thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks everyone for the gifted memberships and super chats and all that kind of stuff. Really appreciate it. Even though I'm mad. I am literally hella mad now. That's the name of my channel. How cool is that? And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Probably might go a little bit later tomorrow. I might go maybe 6:30 or something like that. Haven't decided exactly the time yet, but I'm going to be doing a Delphi stream about Kathy Skank's daughter, who happens to also be a smart novelist, interestingly enough.
Ooh.
But that's not my problem with her. My problem with her is that we're not going to be reading her novels. But no, my problem with her is that she's good old mates with Ron Logan and has a big problem with people bad-mouthing him because he's so lovely. She's known him for decades and he could never have done anything bad, even though, he confessed to murdering the girls. So I think it's all quite sus. Yes. All right. Lovely to have you all here, and have a wonderful day. Happy Australia Day, and it's time for this song. Oh, by the way, sorry, one more thing. There will be more Scott on Cross this time next week. Probably will be the same time. I think we'll keep doing it on a Saturday. It's kind of a nice day to do it. But yeah, I think Scott will be on Cross for probably at least another stream, maybe 2 more streams. Cool. All right, time for the song.
Her name was Helen. She was an Aussie. She was a fake lawyer from the future. She got on YouTube and made some live streams. Her co-host is Donnie and she dances sometimes. The words are always so loud and because she's an